Now this is the part where we're going to talk about from Monday Night Raw. We're going to go down memory lane from June 6, 2005. The headline basically was Batista, the then World Heavyweight Champion, and Triple H signing the contract for their Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance 2005, as well as the draft lottery, which was basically a fancy word of them saying superstar shakeup without saying superstar shakeup, because they didn't, unlike previous drafts, they were basically secretive, like behind the scenes. They had like certain number of people to pick, and then they just showed up on that Raw, SmackDown, et cetera, et cetera. So it was pretty much like a more important superstar shakeup before they went back to the whole random drawing draft special spectacle and what they do now.
Yeah, that's something that I automatically like picked up on, because I remember, like you said, they usually do it where they show it, and then they'll show it like on the screen, like they'll play like the music and everything, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna have this person on SmackDown, this person on Raw. Yeah. And I was like, why y'all just can't call it the draft? Like, why it just can't be like that? Like,
now they do it. It's a draft.
They do it like that,
but they do it so lazy now. Like they do it where they just have Stephanie McMahon on the stage.
Yeah,
in round one, such and such. I'm like, what's the fun in that? It's like y'all just went backwards. Oh. But yeah. So starting off we started off the show with a smiling Eric Bischoff, and the smile was awkward. Like, I'm like, bro, why you look like you gotta take a shit?
Hey man, Eric Bischoff, I promise you, he extra. Yes. he really is.
He's so extra. He's so out of this world. I love it.
It's like, what you can expect from him when you see him. He doesn't even have to open his mouth. You can just look at him and tell. It's like, yeah,
this is gonna be one of them.
I'm ready. It's gonna be one of them nights.
It's gonna be one of them nights, man. You're gonna be so extra for no apparent reason, for what at all. But he announced the first pick in the 2005 draft lottery. Like I just said, a different take on the draft at the time, which is kind of like what they're doing with the superstar shakeup, but a lot more impactful. The coach then came up because I believe he's a heel now, because I think he became Bischoff's stooge in like 2003. So there's that. He basically informed EB that Paul Heyman might show up around this time, and I'm like, I immediately clicked on my, this is around the time ECW One Night Stand 2005. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's gonna be which I highly recommend, because that's one of those shows that was actually I can still watch to this day and actually have fun. Then we get the guns, the drugs from my generation, the Raw intro, which was kind of more contemporary. Now you didn't really see a lot of, like, you can tell the evolution of the intro package from like the last review we did to now. I'm like, there's two different things. Raw was live from St. Louis, Missouri, a place I have never been, but I probably want to go at some point in my life. Probably not.
Yeah, I do want to go.
We kick off the show with the highlight reel with Chris Jericho. This is like the second show we had the highlight reel on. Jericho kicked off the show looking to get the first draft lottery pick announced. Jericho-holics were a thing. I'm like, what? Why would we be Jericho-holics? Like,
it immediately went out went completely left. Like when I heard that, I was like, what?
Jericho-holics. Jericho-holics. I guess Jericho, I guess that was his way of coming up with people. I don't know. Then he said, come on down. And John Cena made his entrance to a huge pop. And I think Chris was genuinely shocked, because you could see on his face, he didn't know, because I believe I read somewhere that they kept the picks a secret from everyone. So everything was legitimately a shoot. So they didn't really know who, like, I believe I read it. I don't know. I think I saw like a flashback post. They was like, John Cena showed up. He was behind the scenes. Like, he was hitting off. Like, it was a complete secret that he was there. So I was like, so the reaction from Jericho, JR, and King, who was a lot less saying puppies this episode, thank God. It was genuine. And then John was rocking those big jerseys, and I'm like, this screams 2005.
Definitely.
Oh God.
He brought it all the way back. I was like, whoa.
I was like, oh my God, we really were this way in 2005. We were just rocking big clothes for no reason. Oh God.
Oh my gosh. I was like, maybe he's just really, really happy to come to Raw. So he just
this was like transition from Dr. Thugonomics to PG John Cena. So it was kind of like he was in that little middle where he was kind of pulling back on what made him popular with the Dr. Thugonomics. So he was kind of like he was doing his raps, but he wasn't as over like pushing the boundaries because he was the face of the company at this point. But 2005, what a time to be alive though, with music back then not sucking ass like some of the music now. And then when Jericho said CD, I was like, damn, CD. Do they still have CDs in 2021?
I maybe. If you ever go to a music store and it's like, they still got vinyls. So
so it's there. Okay. It's there. Well, like I said, John's promo style was completely different back at this point. The champ is her. I said,
yeah.
I said, oh hell no.
The champ is her.
The champ is her. And then Jericho tried to say it too. I was like,
I said, no, please.
No, sir. No, sir. He's like, yeah, the champs are her. Oh my.
I said, whoa. Come on.
I hate you. I said, I hate you so much.
I'm going way overboard with this now.
The champ is her. Oh my God. Why are you this way? Kiss my grits.
I just love the fact that like Christian and Tomko, I think, is it Tomko?
It was Tyson Tomko.
Yeah, and they come out, they try to do their little promo in the midst of it. John Cena ends up going straight to
I don't know why.
I knew it.
I don't know why. Yo, I don't know why, but this version of Christian's theme song was erased from my memory. I always remember the male version that they did in 2009.
Oh yeah, you completely forgot about that one.
I forgot about this version. I was like, where did this one come from? It just yeah. But during this entire highlight reel, they briefly teased a feud between Cena and Jericho during the summer, so that kind of set them up. And Christian wasn't really considered a crackhead at this point, but he was in my opinion, I don't know why a lot of people brush past him, but he's more solid on the microphone. But then why did this man try to rap with John?
Yeah, that's why I said what I said.
That's how I roll.
I knew it. I was like, look, if he's really trying to freestyle, he's gonna get hurt. Like,
courtesy of the closed captioning provided by Peacock, I was able to write down every lyric that John Cena spit. I had the time. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Let us reminisce. That's how you roll, like you got your routine mastered. I'm gonna put you in your place, you creepy little bastard. Yes. Christian used to come to the ring up through the fire wearing a Seinfeld shirt, thinking that you was a vampire. You couldn't cut it with the brood. They even put you on the shelf. Gangrel was sucking blood. You was sucking something else. I was like, ha. He said you suck dick.
I was like, it flows very smoothly.
There ain't no way you can walk a mile in my shoes. I thought he was gonna say Chuck Taylor's for some reason, but I'm like, thank you. There ain't no way you can walk a mile in my shoes. You went from swallowing blood to blowing people's kazoos. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's what I did. And my face said it for me. I didn't even have to say, oh, out my mouth. I was like,
oh, word. Yeah. Hey, it's Pride Month. We ain't knocking you. and now you say you got these peeps that'll follow your vision. Well, if you're a fan of Christian, I'm gonna change your religion. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Word. Listen, I got you. I got a level with you, homie. As soon as he said homie, I said, please shut up. Please shut up. Homie, really? Oh God. It's not that you're not on my level, you're not on the level below me. I'm like, oh, he said you're not even in the league below me. I'm like, he said you suck. So keep talking because I'm gonna lay your ass down. This is the highlight reel, so you must be the ass clowns. And then for some reason Peacock muted out ass. I'm like, it means donkey. So whatever. You the clown with charisma. who are you, the fight starter? The only problem you solving is being Christian's life partner. I was like, oh, so he said y'all are gay. Cool. And according to you, Marky Mark, I might be, but I will beat both of your asses if you fight me. I'm like, where are you going with this? The champ is here. Please don't say her. So you you better pray to God you switch shows. But before you do, for old times, here's a 5-second pose.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love that. I love that.
It was really
like,
cool.
No, it's fine.
Really
and
cool.
then Cena did his "You Can't See Me" taunt before removing the 5 fingers to flip off Christian. For those who can't really see what I just did, and a brawl broke out between Cena, Christian, Tomko, and Jericho with Cena hitting the FU, not the attitude adjustment, the FU on Tomko to end the fight. I probably enjoyed this segment a lot more than I probably should have, mainly because I didn't hear puppies.
I liked it just because of the fact that like Christian really just tried to freestyle. It was hilarious.
He really did. I was like, bro, you tried it.
I'm like,
and
this
you
guy
failed miserably. You felt so
like,
miserable.
Dude, like, you tried, you failed. Let it be. Just move on. It's okay.
You know how I just said there was no puppies? I spoke too soon because they aired a promo for the Raw Diva search.
Yes. Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
Wait a minute, like, okay. So when I first started watching the Raw Diva search, like when they like started doing it when I was a kid, I was like, okay, are they just trying to figure out who they want on, the next diva on their show? Or is it where, they get them on the show and they get money too at the same time? Like, I didn't know, like, at that point.
I believe around that time you just got on it. Like, you didn't get paid unless you won, or unless they decided to sign you to a contract. Because I believe even if you didn't win, they still signed you. Like, I believe let me dig into my encyclopedia brain. I believe Chris was it Ashley Massaro? I believe she won 2005.
Okay.
And they signed 2 other people who didn't win. Same with 2006 and 7.
Because I was like, is there a Divas magazine too? Like,
oh yeah, there was always like a Raw Diva magazine with Trish Stratus in the cover. And
hey, speaking of Ashley, I don't even know what happened to her.
In real life? Ashley? In real life or
no, like in wrestling, like Ashley. I think she used to have like
she was there until 2008, got fired, had a kid. I believe she died.
Oh, she did pass. Oh my god, I don't know why I thought she was still living.
Yeah, she died 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Dang, man.
So yeah. But so it's like
that's crazy.
And we're gonna talk a little bit about women's wrestling too when we get on. But King, he said Raw gets hotter than ever. Woohoo! I said, shut the fuck up. Then we get a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. Davari and Muhammad Hassan versus Shelton Benjamin. And then I saw a sign. It said, I valet part Hassan's camel. Mm-hmm. I was like, isn't he Italian? Like, what? The WWE's USA versus the World was high as ever at this point. To sum up this match wasn't really much for me. I just wrote down Benjamin hit the knee lift or the V trigger if you are a modern wrestling fan, and went for the splash into the Vare pool. Hassan out the way and his face caught the ring post, and Hassan hit a reverse STO, I think it was like a flatliner on Benjamin, but then Shelton got his foot on the ropes before we got the count of 3, and it was a false finish until the match was restarted. Benjamin retained the title by hitting the T-bone suplex, which he needs to bring back full time on Davari to pick up the win. And then Hassan is angry at Davari, and then that was pretty much that segment. It was, like I said, it was a decent handicap match, but I was on my phone halfway through. So, yeah. Then we get an ECW One Night Stand 2005 commercial sponsored by Destroy All Humans. I don't remember that game at all. It was on Xbox One.
Hold on, what? Wait a minute.
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember that. Did I play that? I need to find that game. It's like a lot of these games. I'm like, I need to find them.
If I find it, even if I just see the cover of it, then it's like, okay, now I know.
that commercial tied into the next backstage segment with William Regal, Tajiri, and Chris Benoit talking about ECW One Night Stand. William basically gave Tajiri an ultimatum to be anti-ECW or against anti-ECW, and Tajiri chose ECW to kind of ECW. Then we switch over to a backstage segment with EB and Coach and Hassan and Daivari. I didn't even know what the hell Daivari was speaking about. I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah, I completely went blank.
I literally blacked out. I was like, what?
Then, okay.
I was like, okay, cool.
Well.
Story, bro. Sucks to be you. And then I guess it basically announced that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be on the show next week to hear their grievances, basically a Stone Cold's court. So Stone Cold couldn't wrestle, so they basically brought him back to do like these type of segments, which are basically going to end up with him giving a Stone Cold stunner, and that's about it. Then we get a WWE Rewind sponsored by WrestleMania 21. They reminded us about the Master Lock Challenge. Well, before that, have you ever played WrestleMania 21, the game?
Yeah. I played with my cousins.
It's like I need to play these games because I barely remember playing a lot of them. I remember buying them, but I don't remember playing them.
That makes sense.
Because around the time that these came out was 2005. I was 11. Was it 11 to 12? 2005, around this time. 11 to 12. Because I was 13 in 2007. So yeah, about 11 to 12, give or take. So I barely remember anything about my childhood. They reminded us about the Master Lock Challenge from a week prior, and then it led to Chris Masters versus Val Venus. Masters' gimmick was basically showing off his physique, and I was like, okay.
I was like, Chris Masters?
I was like, okay, cool.
I used to do that every time I used to see him like come on camera. I'd be like, okay, can we? And then it was like back, and then it's like, of course, like back then, so it's like you couldn't fast forward it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, oh my God.
Especially if you record on your VHS.
I used to do that every time. I was like,
the only time you could record it.
One more time.
I'm about to say the only time we could fast forward is with the VHS. And for those who don't know what a VHS is, oh my God, I'm pretty sure a lot of my listeners don't even know what the hell a VHS is. We still
have VHS movies. Like,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people who probably watching it, listening to this right now, don't know what a
VCR. We got all our old Disney movies on VHS, and I still be popping in them things sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, they don't. I'm about to say sometimes when I be saying stuff like VHS and CD, I'm like, bro, I feel old because I'm pretty sure.
Man, I like my stuff having substance.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know what
concrete. You're talking about. My DVD want to act a fool, I can just go ahead and pop in the VHS.
I'll just download it online. Damn.
But that's how I be feeling. I'm like, oh, the internet's out. Pop in the VHS movies and the DVDs. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my God. Why? Oh, VHS. Oh, wow. Rewind. And then don't rewind it. And then it's like rewind it. Try to rewind it in your TV, because if you don't, it'll something to get stuck, and you'll break the film. And yes, film is that little black. If you flip tab, it's that little black thing right there. Do not touch it, because if you touch
that thing starts coming out,
if you touch it, if you get your fingerprint on it, you might as well just go ahead and throw the whole tape away.
Yep. You see, I didn't even know that until down the line, because I was just like, man, bump this. Like, this thing is out. I'm gonna go ahead and just reel it back up real quick. Make sure I get it perfect, and then put it back in, and then all of a sudden it starts working. It's
like, yeah, there we go.
I'm like, yes, it's working now.
Oh man. and don't
lie.
I'm not saying don't record raw over your grandmama's Young and the Restless tapes. Oh Lord. See, to say you got a handful and an earful is an understatement. Man. Good Lord.
Oh, that's so funny.
Venus attacked Masters from behind during his entrance. It was a solid back and forth matchup. Up until Masters' ass cheeks were exposed. I was like, I hate it here. those
Like,
knife edge.
wow.
I was like, why? And then the crowd was like, woo! I was like, no, don't want to see the. I don't want to go to that roadmap. Let's come on back up. I don't want to see that. Those knife edge chops by Venus sounded like stiff as hell. I'm like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need to do now, because I feel like a lot of people don't take that many. It's like their chops is kind of like they like. I'm like,
it's happened before, like.
Everybody now modernly
it was
safe.
on SmackDown, but we'll get into that like eventually.
I'm about to say a lot of people are safe now. Like you got a very few, but it's some people who are safe. And when you do see someone who take a knife edge chop, you be like, oh shit, that's how you're supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. The ending came when Val landed on his neck and he played the part well. Like he had the glazed look in his eyes, and they transitioned that into the master lock. They called it the masterpiece for some reason in this one. I'm like, okay. Val tried to fight it, but he passed out and the match was over. Solid match, like I said. And then after that, we moved on to the contract signing for Vengeance.
Batista and Triple H.
I'm about to say Batista versus Triple H inside Hell in a Cell at Vengeance. When Hell in a Cell actually ended feuds and not as just like, oh, hey, it's June, or hey, it's October. Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. But it's like what I love about Hell in a Cell is it's like, okay, you've been having beef with this person for I don't know how long. And it's like, oh, finally, like, you know what?
If you're talking about the old
Let
Hell
us
in a
just
Cell.
get in. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, not the one we got now. Like the old Hell in a Cell was like, you're not getting out, and you gonna have to just roll with it. You gonna get a beat down, go ahead and get your beat down. Like, but you're not going nowhere. So it's like, but at the end of the day, when it's over, it's like, cool. Like, it's been squashed.
that it's a squash. But it's like now they starting to fuse. Like, prime example, Sasha versus Bayley. They shouldn't have never started that inside the cell. They should have started that outside the cell and then led to the inside the cell. But that's just beating down old grapes. But what was also beating down old grapes? What was up with Triple H and that chinless beard? He looked like Boris the Animal from Men in Black 3 in a nice suit.
When I watched it, I was like, okay, I have a feeling Gresh is gonna say something about this man's facial structure.
I really was like, what's up with the chinless beard?
Like, it's gonna be his hair, his chin, his beard. It's gonna be something. I don't know what it's gonna be.
What is up with that beard
within that factor?
It's like what was the look he was going for? Like, I don't get it.
And I'm not gonna lie, like back then, I was going for Batista. I really was.
Who wasn't? They booked him perfectly.
I was going straight for Batista. I was like, man, yay.
So the purpose of this match is, like, at this point in time, 2005, Triple H never lost a Hell in a Cell match, and that was the focal point of this match and finishing up their feud. Asshole chants for Triple H. As soon as he started talking, that's the heel you want. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is not a man out there who can do what I do in this ring better than me, Triple H. Well, Paul, Bret Hart has entered the chat. And modernly, Roman Reigns has entered the chat. They showed a recap of Triple H's time inside Hell in a Cell. And this made me wish they'd do it like this more and revert it back to being a feud killer, like I said, and not some yearly spectacle. Batista made his entrance with Walk Alone, and I was like, yeah. I walk for miles inside these people. I love it. The place where no one follows me. I walk alone.
I love that song.
Oh man. Oh.
Every time they play that song for him, I was like, okay, what's up with these artists? Like, what's going on?
Bruh, like let me go up in that. Like, shoot,
they getting cut. I hope they get. I mean, I would assume they getting cut a check because he is representing the song very well right now.
I believe anything that they license pre CFO, which was the group that they released before the current group they have, they own it by outright. So they have the license to pretty much every theme song from then on back, because it wouldn't be on the network if they didn't. If that makes sense.
That's true.
So they own the license.
Speaking of old music, I still have one of John Cena's old songs from his
the champ.
CD.
It the champ is here.
I still have one of his songs, and I still bump it every now and then.
I'm a bad man.
I heard Batman too, but I have Just Another Day, so it's like I like that song. I really do. With him and Trademark, I was like, I keep it.
But man, 5-year-old, not 5-year-old. When did he come out? What was 2005? 11-year-old Gresh will probably hop up out of bed as soon as he hear Batista's theme song and be like, yeah.
Oh man.
My mama would be like, what is you doing, little bro? Like, yeah.
Oh man, like I'm telling you, like I told my mom, I said, man, if I ever get a chance, so like even if I get a chance to meet like all the ones that I grew up watching all the way to now, like it'd be cool. But if I got a chance to like meet Batista and all the people that I like, I'm gonna be like, I'm like, you in the way you still look the same. That's crazy. Like,
put more tattoos.
I'm shocked right now. I'm like, I used to watch you when I was like this. Yeah. And they be looking like, what? Like
bruh.
You what? And how old are you now? You in your 20s? Dang. Like
thanks for reminding me. Like thanks for reminding me I'm close.
I just want to tell you, you're such a joy.
Thank you. Thank you, you asshole. Thank you, you asshole, for letting me know how old I am. Thank you. You want an autograph? Man, screw your autograph. I don't want to give you an autograph no more. Next.
Oh man.
You want an autograph? Daffy Duck. Next. Speaking of autographs, I never understood this. You had the opportunity to review the contract, what Eric Bischoff said, and I was like, well, why didn't your ass sign it? Right. I was like, oh, for dramatic effect. Yeah. All this talk about you're gonna have to kill me, but the end of the match came. You know how they was like, oh, you got to kill me to beat me. I'm like, the end of the match came. Spoiler alert for those who didn't see the match. I don't know why. He beat him with a wrestling move.
Yeah,
the Batista bomb. I'm like, you did not kill him. So thanks. This contract signing was intense as hell, though. Like looking back, I was like, damn, where's this intensity now? Like nothing is as intense anymore. Well, depending on who you talk, who it is. And I might actually go back and watch the particular match on just randomly, and because it was one of my favorite cell matches growing up. So especially when they brought in the barbed wire steel chair.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this
I like that type of stuff. I'd be like, oh snap, like let the bruising and cuts begin. Like
let the bodies hit the floor.
Snap.
Then we moved to the part of the show where I just kind of tuned out a little bit. 6-person mixed tag team match. The Heartthrobs and Victoria versus tag team champions Hurricane and Rosie, rest in peace, and Christy Hemme with Stacy Keibler, Super Stacy. This all started because of a swimsuit competition when Victoria attacked Christy Hemme as a sore loser before hitting the Widow's Peak. Yep, those days were a thing. Rosie was the shit, superhero in training. Every time the camera was put on Christy, all you heard from King was, "Oh baby." I was like, shut up. And then I blacked out yet again. I was like, oh fuck. Really? The ending came when Christy was choking out Victoria, so this was like a time killer match. I only think it went 10 minutes. I think it probably went 4 minutes or something. Did not care for this match at all, and Victoria deserved better, but no disrespect to Christy Hemme, but that's just how I felt about this entire thing. Gotcha. Rosie. Well, seeing I'm like, dang, this dude look like Roman.
I miss Rosie.
Oh well, this dude look like Roman, but in a superhero costume. Then we get a backstage segment with John Cena and Eric Bischoff. Cena and Chris Jericho versus Christian and Tomko announced for the next week. EB said, I think you and I could have a great relationship. And John took it as him flirting, was like, hey man, it's 2005. I don't judge you. Do your thing, but that ain't me. I don't roll that way. If only weirdos would do that, what he just said. He's like, yo, I don't judge. Do you? It ain't me. Like, you ain't gotta go out of the way to make people feel uncomfortable. Like, mind your business and stop trying to force your hate on a group of people who are simply trying to live their life. That's me breaking the fourth wall. Every time John tries to leave, it's like he trying not to leave, but be like, "Oh wait," and he's like, "Bruh, yo, if this Uncle Tom mother gonna get out my face." He was like, "Okay." He like, anyway, but this was basically to start their little mini feud that they had in 2005. So until EB was fired. They didn't announce the draft lotteries continuing on SmackDown, and to be honest, we couldn't watch it if we wanted to because Peacock doesn't have anything prior to 2019. Kiss my grits. We then saw a recap of Lillian Garcia basically getting kidnapped by Viscera, Big Daddy V, and I'm like, okay. I'm pretty sure she did not consent, but anyway, we didn't get a recap.
Like, wait a minute, like where you going?
Like what? You gonna crush her, sir? Hopefully she's not on the bottom. Like, because you
going?
You gonna crush her, sir? Like, she's tiny. You're not. Like, I was so confused. This is the part of the show I was like, I'm so confused. It's like you grow up watching this type of stuff. Then when you look back, you be like, how did you get away with this?
or I'll do one better. It's like, okay, how did I not understand the clues of what's going on? Like, how did I not get this? I mean, well, I know what I was doing, but like, how did I miss this? Like, how did I not get the innuendo? Like, I don't understand.
What?
Or you try to figure it out and you know you got it, but you can't really word it out and it's on the tip of your tongue. You can't get it out. It's like, dang, man.
Like, huh? What?
This is not how I planned it, but
okay. And we didn't get a recap of Lita dumping Kane by flushing her wedding ring down the toilet and then kissing in the bathroom, which may or may not have been clean. So they're nasty as hell.
Yeah, they nasty.
And I'm like, nasty. How you know this bathroom's clean? Like, you literally standing over something that somebody probably took a shit on. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I watched that, like, even when I was a kid, I watched it. I was like, okay, cool, they're kissing. But then I was like, ew. Like, I get it in the bathroom, but I mean, but it's crazy because when I watched it when I was little, I was like, dang, they must be in a relationship for real because y'all
they were in
the bathroom. Like, y'all are committed.
I was like,
minus the bathroom situation, like, I want to love like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Nah, you can have that. Nah, you can have that.
Mine and only mine? Yes.
You can have that. I'm not kissing nobody over no toilet. You can have that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I said minus the bathroom.
Oh, minus the bathroom. I'm about to say, like, wait a minute. I'm not.
We're gonna have to go somewhere else. Like, ain't no way.
We're gonna go to the balcony like normal people.
Right. I can live with the balcony. No, I ain't messing with no bathrooms.
Like,
what the fuck? I said, dang, y'all love each other way too hard because, wow, so much time. Jesus.
They kissing over shit.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. Like, yeah.
They said to death do us shit.
Right. Oh, I said, you know what? This. Just
and then I went from laughing at this to laughing at King and JR almost dying because Kane's power went off. And like, oh shit. And it instantly brought me back to that time where Coach was leaning back in his chair, and then Kane's power went off and he fell out of his chair.
Yeah. Because you don't expect that to happen like that.
I don't even think they'd be expecting it to be that loud. So I never understood why they put him right there. But then when it happened, I'm like, Okay.
I probably would have fell out of the chair as well.
And I'm pretty sure
That
JR
would have
had
to be like
flashbacks
that.
and when he was set on fire too. So you already know he was terrified.
See?
Bro was brought to you by Destroy All Humans and Batman Begins. You remember Batman Begins?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best Batman movies they ever made in my generation.
Yes.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of older generation probably like, no, it's the one where they had pow, boom, psh, the effect
That's
where they had to
all
drop
right.
down. They had to drop down effect where it literally said pow.
Yeah, like
bam.
with the little comment things. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I respect the classics, yes, but
I don't.
I mean,
that was trash.
Christian Bale, like, I mean, it's Christian Bale.
I don't respect the classes like that. Nah, I couldn't sit through it. I said, oh, what the hell is this? Click.
But yeah, like when they get like is it I mean, like, yeah, like I got through it though. I ended up watching it when I was a kid. I watched all the classics, and after all the classics, I ended up watching Val Kilmer play Batman, George Clooney, Michael Keaton. And it's like the only reason why I tolerated Michael Keaton is because he played in Beetlejuice. So I was like, yeah, why not? Like, then they put in Clooney and all that. I was like, okay, I need another Batman. Like, I need another I need another Batman. Your face speaks volumes.
Like, okay.
I gotta get another Batman. So when they came out with Christian Bale, I was like, I know that dude. Like, he played in Ring of Fire, and I was like, oh, him. And then I you know what? I actually like this dude. But then I had to recap and go back to all his other movies, and I was like, yeah, he did play in one of my favorite scary movies, American Psycho. And then the only movie I didn't like that he played in was when he played in Shaft. That's it. Because they let him play a racist. So I was like, dang, like, why? Why y'all do him like this? How y'all let this man go from here to right here with that? And then it scarred
I'm pretty sure every white actor has played a racist at some point. So I don't really
I hate it though. I'd be like, why? Like, I'm not saying make us relive it, but come on, dude. Like,
but Kane came out and it was really nothing. It was basically a way to set up Edge and Kane at Vengeance. Edge and Lita came out to tease Kane, and Lita was wearing far less than usual. She's pouring her heart out. What King said. I'm like, he's basically talking about her tits. Right. I'm like, I guess you've never seen tits before. Did your mother never breastfeed you? I'm still trying to wrap my head around them trying to get us to give sympathy for Kane though at this point, because didn't he force Lita to marry him after getting her pregnant? I'm like, am I supposed to be sympathetic for you? You got cheated on.
I'm not finna feel sympathetic.
I'm not finna. And then Lita, as soon as Lita speak, all you heard was slut. I'm like, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, they on her head, man. That's
and then they basically announced Edge and Kane for Vengeance in Vegas, and then they kissed some more, and I immediately just put my head in my pillow because I said, fuck this. I'm done. I'm tired of seeing white people kiss. Then we get another ECW One Night Stand promo. I'm like, I need to really go watch this show. It was used to tie into basically the remainder of the show, which is basically to build it. You had Chris Benoit versus Snitsky under ECW rules, which is basically a no DQ match. Coach came out for commentary. So they made this match because they felt that Benoit was a traitor to, I guess, the WWE or the sports entertainment style. Mm-hmm. We had metal trash lids off the skull of Snitsky. I'm like, oh, headshots. Yeah, buddy. Snitsky never met a toothbrush because his teeth are so damn yellow. Like, sir, what are you doing? The Dudley Boys jumped the barricade after Snitsky hit with a trash can lid on Benoit and hit the 3D, and the crowd went ape shit crazy. I was like, damn, I miss crowds.
Whole brawl broke out and everything.
They jumped the barricade to get out of there, running from security during the commercial break. The match actually continued. I'm like, oh, so this was actually live. Cool. And Benoit had a diving headbutt on Snitsky to pick up the win. Coach has Paul Heyman and the Dudley Boys arrested backstage, but then he changed his mind after basically Paul said, you ain't got the balls to face me? Like, really? Paul with the ponytail just feels weird now. The man had a whole
it?
With seeing him with ponytail. I'm like, why does it feel weird? I don't got used to him without it. I'm like, damn. Thanks for telling me how old you are, Paul. That led into the next segment, the final segment of the show, which was Eric Bischoff and his anti-ECW Crusaders to close the show. It was EB, Edge, Christian, and Tom Cole. They are out first, and EB practically dismisses Heyman and says the Dudley Boys are as a threat. He said they're trash, they're overhyped and overrated. I'm like, sure. They tease Heyman and DB leaving, but they enter through the crowd. A bunch of heel jobbers came down. I'm like, these bunch of jobbers, y'all about to get y'all ass whooped. And it was looking like a disadvantage for ECW. Then Paul introduced his reinforcements, and they came through the crowd, which was Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, Rhino, Balls Mahoney. I believe that was his tag team partner. His name is slipping my mind. Yeah, and like you said, a brawl broke out between ECW and anti-ECW. Balls with a few headshots to everyone. I'm like, yeah, that was the time. Right. They be like, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be somebody like, oh, you want wrestlers nowadays to do headshots? Yes, yes, I do.
It can
be protected, yes, but it can be gimmicked where it doesn't really do damage. But yes, I want more headshots. Sorry, the whole back thing. I'm like, okay. Then we had a gore on Edge by Rhino, which is ironic because they both do the same move, but they just call Rhinos the gore. Sandman with the kendo stick shot on Maven. Dreamer with the drop kick in the corner in the face of Maven, and then the Dudley Boys at the 3D on the poor Maven because he just got his ass whooped.
For some odd reason, I can get. It's crazy how like I can watch a whole bunch of violence and be cool, but for some odd reason, kendo sticks make me cringe. Like they don't make me. It's just the how do I say this? It's like the impact alone. Like as soon as you hear it, just make contact with the skin, it's like. Oh my god! Like that's how I feel. Like I'm like, dang! Like please. I'm having flashbacks. Like, stop doing that. Like, just stop.
Y'all doing kendo sticks. You thought you saw kendo sticks on SmackDown to the body. They was taking his kendo sticks to the skull. I'm like,
but it's to me, it's just like the kendo sticks. Period. Like I automatically think about whoopings. Like
it's bamboo.
Flashback.
It's bamboo, which is basically a tree. So
yeah.
It makes sense. That's why. And that was pretty
flashbacks. That's all. I'm like, dang, I don't feel like being whooped today. Like, please.
So we might check out since it got me in the mood. We might check out ECW One Night Stand for the next retro review. To just check it out. If they hopefully they got it on there. If they don't, Peacock can suck my dick.
I mean, there'll be some kind of way I'll end up finding it eventually. Like,
yeah, no I'm like, man.
All I need to do is find out the date. That's it. Like if I find out the date, then I'm like, okay, let me find it.
I think it was June. If it was this Sunday according to that, yeah, I think it was like that's if you do the math, it's like 6 days later.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was June 3rd. Was it June 13th? No, yeah, no, June 12th. June 12th or 13th, one of those. 2005.
Okay.
But yeah, we might review that next week. But that concludes your retro review for Monday Night Raw.